we're gonna go back to Chris and talk about AI and singer songwriting.
Boy, there's a loaded question.
Yeah.
We're looking down the barrel of a loaded gun. Who knows?
Well, I mean, you've been a professional songwriter for 30 years. When did you first realize AI was going to be a serious factor in music creation?
Well, I think the minute AI started, I started using, I think it was like a Da Vinci app or something where it could make a cartoon dance. And I knew the minute that that happened that eventually something was gonna happen with songwriting. We've always, as songwriters, we used to have it was called Master Writer. It was a program you could have on your computer, and it had like a rhyming zone, and like it was just an easier way to find rhymes and whatnot. And I know there was a lot of old school guys in Nashville that just hated that. They thought it was just, the if you can't write a song with a guitar, then you shouldn't be writing a song. And it was just a tool. I actually, my co-writer Dave used it quite a bit, and it was quite beneficial. I just didn't want to pay for it, so I didn't have it. But it was a tool, right? It was beneficial to use. It speeded up the process. The trick about AI is what is the listening public? Do they know it's AI, or do they know it's real? That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Like, say as a Doc Walker song, I've used some AI apps, and I was actually quite shocked how good they were. But after using it more and more, it was a pretty cheap version, so I'm sure the more you pay for it and the more time that goes on, the better it's going to get. But for me, I'm using it as a tool because the way I usually write is I'm a story guy, so I wait for a story to pop in my head, or somebody say something that makes me think of a story, and then I'll think of a hook and try to write it. I found with the AI, I can just sort of plug in, give me an idea, give me a song about, Bubba driving a truck down the road and runs over a skunk, and it's just all this really stupid shit. And it spouts out this kind of stupid song, and I laugh, and then I get a few ideas, and then I just sort of go on my own way. So it's an interesting tool. I haven't used it in a while because I did find that mostly when AI would create the whole song, the vocal track and the arrangement, then I would kind of get married to that, and I would always sort of go back to the well. So I'm kind of looking and searching for new ways to use AI to help writing, because you got to remember our first song came out on a cassette. That's how old I am. And then we moved to CDs, and then we moved to downloading. And one of our first big singles, Rocket Girl, came out pretty much the week that Napster drops. So I was wondering why we weren't selling any records.
Oh, then I realized, man,
everybody was getting it for free. So,
right.
And then Apple came out where you could buy it for $1, and then streaming came out, and all us musicians, we have a joke, in a pair of jeans, you have that useless little front pocket. And then there's like a really small pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's for your streaming checks.
Right.
But so, it's been an uphill battle for every musician throughout the years. And you just have to adapt, and AI is not going away. So, and I've talked to a lot of people about this. I know Dave, my co-writer there, his major problem, and I do agree with it, is say somebody if I say, let's write a song like AC/DC, but change it to this, and I end up using it, as a writer, I feel that royalty should be shared with, AC/DC. If you do rip off the song, I guess they'll sue you, but it would just be nice for me to find, if there was a way that you could track what AI is using to generate these songs to help pay the artists that have already written them. But that's just something I'm hoping,
One thing I wanted to take your perspective on is, so I was talking with somebody the other day about AI and songwriting, and I know that there are some singer-songwriters that are adamantly against it, and others that are like, it's fine with them. And what I was thinking is, like, back in the day, singer-songwriters would write their songs, and they would take it to their agents or to whoever was going to, publish their music and that. And sometimes they would want you to write with other writers. and then or they would want to change the way that you created the song and all of that. And through all of that, all that money is coming out of your own pocket. It's like reducing what it is. And with AI, I am not a singer songwriter. I did write the Dipito Show opening song, and putting it in AI, and then like what came out was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it sounds like this. This is fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought like there was just like a couple of words that weren't quite right, and I said to AI like, what would be a better words to put in place of this or that or whatever, which is what I would think could be similar to what you guys do, where you're collaborating with other singer-songwriters and you're coming up with a song, you know, kind of hashing it out, where this you could kind of hash out yourself, right? With AI to envision. And I wondered what you thought of that, making it maybe even being empowering for a singer-songwriter who basically like yourself can write a song, but maybe you hit a roadblock, and you know, where you used to get input from someone else, now you're getting input from an AI. What do you think?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've got some buddies on Telegram that I talk to who are, you know, just ridiculously smart. And before AI really exploded, you know, we were talking about AI agents and having AI agents to help run your social media and to do this. And you know, this one guy was saying how he could create a co-writing AI agent basically that would, you know, learn about me and my songwriting techniques, and it would be like a co-writer I could just pull up whenever I want. But we never did go that route, which I wish we would have. It would be nice to have that in my phone. But you know, I heard an interesting saying on the radio the other day on a talk radio show. They were talking about AI and people potentially losing their jobs to AI, and people, you know, and basically what he said, he goes, you know, people aren't going to lose their job to AI. They're going to lose their job to somebody who knows AI better than you do. And I found that quite interesting because, and I'm not saying as a songwriter, if you don't adopt AI, you're going to get left in the dust. There's going to be some, you know, AI still needs those songs to generate because they have to learn from what's been out there. Or generally that's what they do. So there's still going to be great songwriters. It's like when auto-tune came out, everybody thought, you know, and everybody used it way too much and it sounded like garbage, but it's still being used because it makes it more efficient in the studio doing, you know, if you've got a great emotional line that's a little bit flat or a little bit sharp, it's nice to run it through auto-tune so you can keep the emotion of the performance, but yet, you know, it doesn't sound flat. So using it as a tool is great. I think AI will be the same. It's gonna take a curve. It's gonna take a while for people to learn how to use it, and for people to learn how to listen to it. Because eventually, I think, you know, people will just be AI artists. Like there's already a bunch of them out there that people just create this persona, they create this image, and they write the songs, and that's the artist. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if it puts more music in the world, what can I say about it? You know.
Yeah. Simon, do you have any questions for Chris, or any of you fellas have any other questions for Chris?
Well,
No,
actually, go ahead. Yeah, Spiffy, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, it's not a question, but Chris, I was wondering, I guess it is a question. Have you ever looked into, potentially Spotify possibly having hundreds, if not thousands, of their own AI artists that they then plug into their own playlist that they curate, and therefore now they're getting the royalty from their own platform?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Spotify doesn't really pay a whole lot to the artists that they play anyway. So, I mean, it's not like they're, you know, they're losing money because they're paying out a lot of royalties. I forget how much it was, but for like 1 million plays, it's not very much. So unless you're Taylor Swift, of course, right? But yeah, no, I could definitely see. And I mean, you know, you gotta remember these major labels and Spotify, and like they've been at this a long time. I remember, and this is a long time ago. Like I'm talking 10, maybe even 15 years ago, that there was an artist that I knew that was in Nashville, and they had a record label they were working with, and they would go have their meetings, and they would send songs to the record company, and then they would talk about songs they might want to record and release and whatnot. And at the time, they were actually putting songs through an algorithm that was going to give a percentage chance of if radio was going to play it and if fans were going to like it.
Mm.
And I mean, that's over 10 years ago. So there's always been that hidden elephant in the room. But yeah, I mean, I think with AI, it's the ceiling is totally blown off of what, big corporations are going to do. So it's scary, but you just got to keep plugging away.
Well, Chris, on the other side of AI, I too see it as a tool, right? And I think that the independent artists, such as yourselves, that aren't locked in under a big record deal / contract, you guys are, I think, in a very unique position to where you can spend at low cost, basically just your time, which is our most precious asset. As you said, learn the AI to where these big companies might have huge teams doing that, but even then, they don't understand the scene in the way that you understand the scene. See, and maybe you agree with this, where I think the artist or artists themselves have the advantage utilizing AI to their advantage versus a record company. As you mentioned 10 years ago, putting a song in an algorithm, hey, how much money are we going to make on that? That's their different mindset. Yours is slightly different. Yours is reactionary. You know what I mean? Profits, of course, yes, but I think there's I think there's something there. So, if a kid today can make a hit song with AI in the afternoon, what is the value within that versus, say, decades of a craft that might be suffering for real songwriters?
Like, to me, it's the touring aspect. Like, we've been touring for years. And I mean, I even go to some of the newer artists today. Like, we played 250 days a year in bars for 6 days a week back in the 90s and learned our craft and built a fan base. And through, 20 years of making records, we've built a fan base. And now that we're more of a legacy act and older, we still have people paying tickets to come to the show. I think if you're a young artist and using AI, if you can find a way to have an outlet to perform, but I mean, if you have really no talent, but you're smart enough to make a AI song, it's just going to be, here today, gone tomorrow. But I mean, if you can actually sing and perform,
and there's huge difference there. Yeah.
Then you can, and so say you even promote yourself as an AI/artist where you just come out and say, I don't know how to write songs, but I want to express myself. So I told a story to AI and it came up with this. I mean, what's wrong with that? You're getting your emotions out there. And now I know there's going to be so many songwriters that are going to want to, choke me for saying that, but I love writing songs. But I mean, quick story, we were sitting around a campfire at a campground and I had this AI app out and we were a lot of beers in. And I think we wrote about 2 albums of songs that I can't even say the titles on here now. But I mean, you would just say,
just so
oh
fun.
God, I can't even say one title. But anyway,
it's so funny though. It's fun, right?
I love it when y'all get it in the box and you start getting creative with all the influences.
With 2 minutes, we'd have a song, and then somebody would say, "Well, what about this title?" And I'd put it in. 2 minutes later, we're playing it on the speaker, and it was a lot of fun. But that's what it is fun, right? On a serious note, as a writer, it's definitely going to threaten songwriting, but it just really makes you you have to adapt, and you just have to keep working and working and working, because real songwriters will write real songs.
Absolutely. And like it goes back to, like you said, can you perform it and entertain folks, right? There is a difference between someone like myself that wrote a song. I will say it has inspired me to tap back into that part of me. That, when I was younger, I was doing things like that all the time. And then, got older, life got in the way, and, I kind of got away from it. And I was pleasantly surprised what came out, right? And so it was very encouraging. And so yeah, I definitely think it's a tool. I want to play a song for folks so that if they know who you are. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share this beautiful song from Doc Walker. Let's see if I can get it up there. This is called A Beautiful Life, guys. Check it out. Hopefully everybody can hear it.
This old house, it's covered in dust. This old house has seen better days. This old car, it's turned from red into rust. This old car dreams of the old highway. Well, this old river, it still twists and turns. This old river, it used to run untamed. And this old town, well, its heart still burns. And this old town still runs through my veins. It's been a beautiful life. Whoa, I've been along for one hell of a ride. Even though I may be falling apart, whoa, it's been a beautiful life. Well, these old shoes, they've walked for miles and miles. These old shoes, they've walked through life unafraid. This old guitar, I got it when I was a child. This old guitar, it still has something to say. It's been a beautiful life. Whoa, I've been along for one hell of a ride. Even though I may be falling apart, whoa, it's been a beautiful life. Oh, these eyes, they've seen laughter, tears. In these eyes, they still see something new. In this old heart, it's still got a few more years. In this old heart, it will always love you. It's been a beautiful life. Whoa, I've been along for one hell of a ride. Even though I may be falling apart, whoa, it's been a beautiful life. It's been a beautiful life. Whoa, I've been along for one hell of a ride. Even though I may be falling apart, whoa, it's been a beautiful life. Such a beautiful life.
That's great.
That was fantastic, huh?
That's
I
great,
love
man.
it. I love it, guys.
AI can't do that.
I
Go
haven't
ahead,